everybody, welcome to the channel. In this video I am going to discuss something that is related to cars. So if you own a Dodge Challenger or Charger, you probably are aware of the new update that is coming out. Or is out already. I don't really know. I only know a little bit about this. So what this update does is it basically password protects your car. So you enter it through the infotainment system, and what happens is basically you log into an account. Now if you don't, the car is limited to 3 horsepower. Now, coming from a guy who owned an older car and working on it, these cars are V8s and V6s. Now, I could tell you with the V8, I'm not sure about V6s. I know more about V8s than I do V6s. That's not going to move that car. It's going to basically, it's designed to idle the car. Now, it'll move a little bit, but it won't be like, whoa, this thing's quick. So here's the cool thing about that. So basically, it's a Linux update. So I have a pen and paper here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So what happens here is, it's not going to be exact, and I can't draw for anything. So you have your, I'm not sure if you can see on camera, you have your infotainment system. And the way that this works is basically cars have something called a CAN bus, which I'm going to draw right here. It's more than 2 wires, but you get what I'm trying to do. So information from here, when you set it up for the exhaust sounds, the sport mode, and you do it through the infotainment system, that information goes through the CAN bus, which is the networking of the car, and it goes through here to your ECU, which controls your engine, timing, firing order. Basically, that's what sends the check engine light to you. So basically, this is used as a terminal to control this. It's Linux based. Now, to get back to what I was saying, the reason this update exists is people are stealing the cars. Now, if you look at your key, that's what we would call in the IT world a dongle. A dongle contains code. And what happens is if your car does not see that code, hypothetically, I know there's 2 keys. Hypothetically, it's not going to start. Now, when you hold it up to the stop button, basically your ignition, when this sends out a signal and it reads the key, so basically what happens is this tells us to scan the key when you push start. So what happens is when you push start, it sends out a signal and reads the key that you have. Each car has its own code. It's encrypted. But here's the problem that Dodge did. Their software, their security is very, very poor. And what happened is a few years ago, people were breaking into the Jeep. And basically what happens is, with the Jeep, you have something called an IP address, which you heard me talk about before. They put the ECU and the infotainment system on the same IP address. That is very, very bad, because if someone gets into your infotainment system, they're going to get into the ECU. So there were these guys who figured it out. It's called cybersecurity. This is where cybersecurity comes in handy. They got into the network, they shut down the car, they applied the brakes, took control over the thing. Basically, you had a remote control car. That's what the downside is to networking in cars. Security fix, and it hasn't happened since. So basically what's happening is you're going to log into a computer. Once you log in, you'll have everything that you need to drive the car. Now, the cars are being stolen because their encryption policy is so easy to break that people are making fake keys. Now, all you have to do through your. Basically, that's what this is. But if they would use in what they call in Windows BitLocker, BitLocker basically tells Windows that this is not the particular motherboard I am attached to. You'll get a little bit of that when you take a hard drive running Windows and you shove it into another computer and it does that boot loop. It's looking for the motherboard profile. What the drive encryption does is you won't even able to access that unless you have it in that particular computer. So all Dodge has to do is in the infotainment system with the update with the key have a certain code or randomized code or have it randomize, which is a little hard to do, but and have it so when it talks to this is the only thing that it's saying. But even though that is the case, people are making keys and stealing the cars because of the encryption. Now, here's the bad thing about this. The way bad guys steal a modern car is through the computer. And you're asking yourself, what are you talking about? Car thieves have an ECU of the particular car they are trying to steal. So basically, they have one of these. Now, if you ever heard the term jailbreaking, which I'm going to show you in a minute, it removes the parameters so that way they could start the car without proper procedures. So this right here is a normal C ECU, right? So this is parameter, okay? With a jailbroken system, what happens is this does not exist. The parameters doesn't exist. So basically what happens is they can get in there, and if they have a key that fits the ignition, it could be any key. It's going to start. Now, under normal circumstances, it has to do the key. So what Dodge could do, it'll make it harder, but there's always somebody out there trying to basically defeat the system. So basically what Dodge can do is they can put basically what is BitLocker into the infotainment system, and if someone tries to, with an extra digit, that's encrypted. So basically, if you plug in a modified ECU, now Tunes is a different story. That's making it run different and all that. And it doesn't see that particular number, thieves are not going to want to steal the car because the car's not going to start. And now the only bad thing is it doesn't stop from somebody from dragging it out. You know, if someone really is going to steal the car, they have to drag it. They're going to have to damage the car to get it. So with this update, that's what you get with that. Now, also, that's jailbreaking. Don't do it to your devices. Don't do it to anything because of rules or regulations. So basically with this update, it's going to make it harder. So if someone is like, ooh, I'm going to steal a fast car and try to get off real quick with the car, they're not going to get very far. So basically, they're going to set up, so basically what's going to happen is when you start your car, you're going to have kind of a screen that you use to log into your iPhone with, and you're going to have a code to enter it. Once that's done, you'll have full access to your car. So basically the key, getting back to the key, is a ROM chip. Right? So you have the standard key, and then you have the standard key, and let's say you have the track key, which is the red key. What is on that? That is a script that the ECU reads to run the car. So you have the standard key, that's one tune. Then you have the track key, which is another. This goes for the Boss 302 Mustangs as well. So when you put, I know these are talking about newer Dodges, when you push that button, it's going to say, hey, Tracky, and when the conditions are right and you have no faults, it's going to run that. So it's like opening up a file in WordPad on your computer, or you're executing programming. Put it this way, when Linux loads, you see all that lines of code? That's what basically happens. It throws it into the memory, and then it runs it. When you shut the car off, it goes back to the regular one because, as I stated, RAM is volatile. So that's why, guys, that's why you have to hold the key. So when you're holding the key and you push the ignition, it's going to read it. So, anyway, that is it for this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and click that bell for more notifications.